we have these discussions all the time about potential limitations, but there's obvious strengths, and now we're getting to the point where we're going to see how it all goes. But yeah, I think he's done a tremendous job of putting his mark on it. He's kind of he's a force of nature in a lot of ways. He's one of the most he's one of the most forceful personalities we've had in that office, I think, and it's kind of shown so far.
So when you're all right, so we know about the tweet and kind of, he kind of took his shot. ESPN was, he felt a little out of pocket. When you're looking at the external kind of what's said versus internal, how they feel about this football team, how connected do you think those two things are?
The external manner.
What we're hearing out loud outside the program, how connected do you feel it is to how they feel about this football team internally?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think they
Thank you.
pretty. Yeah, it is. I think they jibe pretty well. I think I guess the best way I can put it, my interpretation of what I've seen all summer is this sort of quiet confidence. It's sort of quiet, and I think they want it to be. I don't think they want a lot of chirping. There's a lot of chirping that goes on this time of year. It can, and I don't hear it from Nebraska. I don't hear it from the coaches. I just think that they feel like they have something, but they don't want everybody to know about it. It feels like that sometimes to me. Like they got some things over there that they're sort of ready to unleash, but they don't need to talk. I think the feeling is we don't need to talk about it. We have a big time quarterback. We have some big time receivers. We have this offensive line now that's probably looks like it should. It's probably long time coming the way it's going to look, but it's here. We have some extreme athleticism on defense, but we don't have to talk about it. I mean, let's just let it. Let's just kind of unleash it in late August and let people judge for themselves.
So, Sip, one of the things that you mentioned, they think they've got a great quarterback, and obviously, I think a lot of us agree there. I know that they want to kind of keep it quiet. Have you felt any frustration about seeing other guys in similar positions or with even fewer reps than Dylan get the benefit of the doubt? I'm thinking mostly of like a DJ Lagway and an Arch Manning, or even like a Dante Moore within the same conference where, people are talking about Dante Moore as a Heisman finalist. I get they expect Oregon to be good. That's fine. But that dude was pretty pedestrian at UCLA 2 years ago. We didn't really see him last year. Like, do you get any sense of like why certain guys are getting the benefit of the doubt where Dylan, who had good moments last year and actually played a full season, unlike a lot of these guys, like is not getting that same sort of grace?
Well, as far as like Dante Moore goes, if you put Dylan at Oregon, the conversation would be different. For one thing, his numbers would probably be better. I mean, what's around it? A lot of that's just what's around the guy. Now, I don't know if you could say that. You couldn't really say that about DJ Lagway as much. Lagway's numbers were a bit better. I think Lagway runs it, so there's that element with Lagway. Benefit of the doubt. Some of those guys get it because they didn't go through a rough patch like Dylan did. Dylan in the last 8 games had 4 touchdown passes versus 9 picks. That's a bona fide rough patch. Dana Holgerson he told me the other day that, and I hadn't really heard it verbalized like this, but Holgerson said when he came in early November, Dylan had hit a wall. And they had to get him. They had to kind of push him to the finish line. I don't think you're not really saying that kind of narrative isn't attached to DJ Lagway. It's not attached to some of those guys. So no, I actually do.
Like Mateer or Mendoza, or
yeah, I don't think those guys hit a wall as much. Dylan did hit it a little bit. I think it's great for him, and I think Dylan, the fact that I didn't really perceive it that way, I think it's a credit to Dylan and his poise and the way he just, conducts himself on game day, and press conference day, and just otherwise. Dylan, what I'm suggesting is sometimes you can tell when a guy's going through it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it in his body language. You can see it in the way he talks and what he says. Dylan, you couldn't tell really outwardly. So when Dana said that to me a couple weeks ago, now even though Dana said he said he had talked about it before. I didn't remember him talking about it, but it kind of got my attention. Like, okay, Dylan hit a wall, huh. But I don't see it as a negative. I'm sort of glad he hit a wall in a way. I mean, it's
Yeah,
good.
500 over 500 snaps as a freshman year one.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Like, it's gonna happen, guaranteed.
Oh God, I mean, I think that.
Dude, I hit the
Dylan
freshman wall in 3 weeks with 41 snaps.
Right. I mean, Dylan is sort of remarkable to me in that I think we've already started to take him for granted a little bit. Like he's a tough kid. And, he's this big, strong, well-spoken, doesn't even seem like he's a young guy to me anymore. But he is. I have to remind myself all the time. Dylan is a young kid. But it's a credit to him that I continually have to remind myself that.
Sip, in a floor versus ceiling discussion, which new quarterback impacts their team more? Gronowski at Iowa or Mendoza at Indiana?
Floor versus ceiling.
Floor versus ceiling.
I'd say Mendoza's. I think that ceiling is high.
Okay.
I do. I know more about Mendoza. That's partly why I say that. But I think Indiana's program ceiling's a little higher.
Okay, but if you pencil in Iowa for 7 wins minimum, what's good quarterback play worth?
2.
Okay.
So get 9.
Okay.
I see them more like as a 6. Maybe he gets them to 8.
Okay.
That's perception. Indiana just seems like there's a little more there in terms of what Mendoza will have around him returning. And just come on, we're talking about Iowa offense. You just never. I don't know. You just got to see.
How much of it's just stylistically where you just don't think, even if Iowa's got good quarterback play, they probably aren't going to take advantage of it because of to the same degree, because of how they want to play games?
Partly that, and partly.
Am I the only guy that thinks it's Gronowski?
No, maybe. I give Cignetti a lot of. I don't really like Cignetti. I think he talks way too much. But I give him a lot of. I do. But I give him a lot of credit for what he does with his offensive acumen. Excellent. He knows what he's doing on offense. Mendoza has a lot of talent. Now, it'll be formidable, but those first 3 Big Ten games they have are really formidable. I mean, it's really a tough. Illinois out of the gate in Indiana. I'm going off the top of my head, and then they go to Iowa, and I think they go to Oregon. I think that's what it is. The first 3 games are really hard, and now I want to see what that looks like.
Sip, if we're going to talk about continued development, which both rooms have shown, although one of the rooms has a new voice from a development standpoint, are you more confident in the defensive line room or the running backs room?
Oh God, no, you guys do a good job here.
Sip, that's why you like us.
Yeah, that's a great. Am I more? I'd have to say running back. And it's really because they do have it seems like they have a defined number 1. Who sort of the bell cow is, at least. I can't really say that with the defensive line. I do think they have some pieces. They're pretty good.
I do too.
And eventually we'll be talking about Van Poppel like we talk about Ty Robinson. But eventually, I think that's a little bit down the road. With Emmett, it's got to be right now. It just has to be. There's just no other. I don't see a great way around it unless Makai Nelson really pops or Ives really pops, and let's see what this Mosey situation, how that presents itself in August. I hope
you would like Mosey because there's a lot of Tom Petty to him, man. My man is not going to back down. I can tell you that right now.
Well, that's good, and they need that. I mean, I hope that those guys are making that clear to Emmett. That we're not. Everybody else is handing you the job, but we're not. Nobody's handing it to you. We're coming for you. That's what I hope. I mean, I hope it's like it when you were playing running back. You should assume starters. I mean, they're coming for you guys all the time.
Oh yeah,
all the time, every day. That's what I hope. I hope that Emmett feels that. I hope they make him feel that. I hope they're making him feel it right now, because they need it. That has to. You can't have Emmett walking around thinking he's arrived.
Yep.
Because he doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the numbers to suggest he has arrived.
Yep.
So there's got to be a lot left there.
Sip, if we take away knowing who the clear number one is, which room do you like just in terms of the talent level? Like, hey, I like the guys in this room versus I like the guys in this room. I get we know the most about Emmett Johnson.
So you're talking about like Makai, Ives, Mosey, Booth, Jamarian Parker versus Keona, Sua, Judy, Van Poppel, Inmanari.
I'll even put in, if you want to put some of the edges in, if you want to put like McCullough in there and some of those rushers as well. Like, which talent group do you like better?
Talent better on the D-line. Some of it's just young. In McCullough's case, I wouldn't call him unproven. He's got some numbers at other places, but the role's going to be different.
Yeah, he's going to have to stop the run first.
Ooh, yeah. Well, let's see what that looks like.
Unless they use him situationally, but Jackson, this defense
kind of have to do.
You got to stop the run, man. We undersold MJ Sherman and some of those guys, man. MJ was good at the point of attack.
Oh, I never undersold him. I loved him. I loved that big body. He was a tough, big body dude. Great against the run because of the way he played. McGahee, I think, can be that. I think you guys are a little more in that sort of discussion of depth than me, but I think McGahee's got that sort of body and sort of will.
I do think we'll like their attitude. I think you'll like the Ochoas, the McGahees, the Shavers.
I mean, Shavers is going to be
because they're not like on the field, just not super cool guys to be around.
Mean-spirited, which I think we like.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Ravi, I know my initial answer. I mean, I kind of playing both sides here, but I do like the talent up front. Just so much of it is young and relatively unproven. What are you getting from Winair? What are you getting?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Winair's a guy that has a ton of talent, but you got to see it. And I hope August is good for it. I just hope in August everything kind of starts to turn. I love what we've seen from Lenhart. Backed off a little bit last year, probably injury related. Judy's Judy. I think he's all right. I think Van Poppel has star potential.
If you were gonna get in the lab and pour a mold, they have 3 or 4 guys I think that you would use as the mold. You'd pour another Van Poppel body type. You certainly would pour Keona Davis. And you certainly would pour a mold for Inmanari. So like just body types.
You feel good about that.
You feel good.
Oh, I feel really good. Lenhart, I feel really good. I mean, these are big athletic dudes. I mean, we forget about Cam, but he's actually experienced too. Yeah, he's a grown man now. He's a grown man. Now they're not. A couple of those guys aren't quite as big as I'd like, but they're big enough. So there's a microscope on. The good news is I think we're going to find out a lot in the opener. Scott Satterfield, his past is to run it, and I would think that they will test that sort of perceived vulnerability quick.
Even with an experienced quarterback too, and I like him at the wideout spot too. I like Cincinnati's skill.
Okay, I'd say I'd put it this way. I hope they test Nebraska. I hope they try to hammer that. I really do. I want to see Cincinnati come out and just say, okay, let's see what you got up front, and see what that looks like. That's if I were Satterfield, that's what I would do. And he has done it, and he has some guys that he can do it with. Not great, but I think if you look at what they have, that's where I would go if I was him. I'd just say, let's see what they got.
Sip, unfortunately, I know you got another show to do. I'm going to get you out here on this because I penciled him in right away, and I'm not saying I'm going to be right, but Lutovsky going to Vegas didn't surprise me at all, but it seemed like it surprised some other people. Is it more the role he'll play or just that he's going? Because quietly, he's coming off a really good season.
Isn't it interesting? Yeah, Lutovsky being included shows you where he's come as a player, but also just overall. He was a kind of stay in the background guy when he got here.
Yep.
He didn't have that kind of forceful personality. But he always had that forceful frame. I remember meeting him. My God.
Do you remember him in the benching demo? Like that dude is explosive.
If he gets his hand on you in the old market in a scuffle, good night. It's over. His hands are real. I mean, that's so now. Okay, when I saw his name, I thought, okay, that makes sense. I get where people were coming from though, because Lutovsky's not the guy we always talk about first. What I wonder about Lutovsky is he playing right tackle, or are they going to play him inside? It sounds like Sean's got me pretty convinced they got him inside. I had thought earlier.
Sean, why would you listen to him, Sip? Why not just ask me?
he talks to people, and I thought, but I thought maybe Lutovsky might be a right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I don't know. We'll see on all that.
Yeah,
that's our guy, Stephen Montgomery Sipple. Sip, that's your favorite one, isn't it?
I love it.
Sip, the next time I see you will be in Vegas, and if you're having a margarita, not just a plain tequila, and you get fish at a steakhouse, you're gonna really put our friendship in jeopardy.
Come on, that should do it.
All right. Tilapia on you then, Sip.
It's all right, Sip. Okay. I put our friendship in jeopardy every morning, and we're still here.
Stephen M. Sipple here for Cod Soft Tacos.
I like that.
How about some nice halibut, Sip? You want to go grab some halibut?
I do like halibut.
I do too.
Yeah, I like all.
I'm just saying, maybe get some scallops. I'm a big scallops guy. See what we can do.
Scallops and broccoli is a go-to.
What?
Whoa! I mean, we could lose the broccoli. Well, easy on the broccoli, my
Said
guy.
No one
easy,
ever.
Easy on the broccoli.
Who champions broccoli?
Broccoli's good for you, Damon.
What the? Sip, I'm glad you saved your best for last. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
We'll talk to you later, Montgomery.
See you, bud.
See you guys.
That's Steve.
Scallops and broccoli.
That's wild.
That's mildly disgusting.
I mean, listen.
Just imagine the aromas.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, you can't do that. You can't even put those in the same neighborhood as scallops.
Well, I'm out on broccoli.
What are we doing here? That's our guy, Steve Sipple from Husker Online. Appreciate him joining us.
You know what's really, really funny?
What's that?
In the last 3 months, how many times has either one of us said Cam Lenhart?
I have a couple, but not much. And I'm a Cam Lenhart guy.
Man, I might be at 0.
Yeah.
And I forgot.
So, you know the guy
it's just a blatant omission of a guy that I know can play.
You know the guy that I usually end up skipping over is Enwinari, which as a guy that was a 5-star, that's a little crazy.
But that's fair, though, because he still has work to do.
Yeah, he does. But
Cam has played.
From a talent level, like I probably shouldn't forget.
Yeah, shame on old DB.